The silk of my dress feels cool against my skin, a welcome contrast to the humid air. I catch my reflection in the window of the boutique. A woman stares back, a stranger I've come to know intimately. It's been 3 years since I ceased being the man I once was, and the story of my transformation, orchestrated by a twist of fate and a wife with unexpected desires, still feels surreal. Back then, I was adrift, jobless, ambitionless, another young man lost in the gray fog of unemployment. I scoured the classifieds daily, and that's when I saw it, the outlandish advertisement. A wealthy businessman, desperate to secure his daughter's happiness, was seeking a husband for her, offering a substantial inheritance as the prize. Half the company, half the shares. A golden ticket out of my mundane existence. Driven by a mix of desperation and opportunism, I presented myself to Mr. Harrison. He approved, impressed by my youthful charm. The marriage was arranged swiftly, a transaction masquerading as romance. I walked down the aisle, imagining a life of luxury and ease. The honeymoon began with a confession. My wife, Eleanor, revealed the truth behind the charade, her voice laced with desperation. "I don't want a husband," she said, tears welling in her eyes. "I like women. My father forced me into this. I'm what I want." Orchestrated my transformation. A trip to a city far from my old life, surgeons, hormones, and injections. My body became a canvas. My female organs were developed through hormones and injections. So after becoming a woman from a man, and the man I once was slowly faded away, replaced by a woman I barely recognized, unexpected happened. As I shed my masculine identity, I began to discover a part of myself I never knew existed. The soft fabrics felt different against my skin. The way I moved changed, and I found a strange comfort in the feminine form I now inhabited. Eleanor, too, began to change. The hard edges of her personality softened. She found a release in my transformation, a vicarious fulfillment of her own desires. She'd playfully tease me, running her fingers through my hair, saying, "You've become a more beautiful woman than me." Slowly, tentatively, a genuine connection formed between us, to an unlikely friendship. We explored our new dynamic, learning to navigate the complexities of our unusual arrangement. Our intimacy became a source of surprising pleasure. The way our bodies fit together, the shared laughter, the quiet moments of understanding, it was a connection based on vulnerability and acceptance. I discovered a sensuality I never knew I possessed, a different kind of pleasure in being touched and desired as a woman. We travel together now, exploring different countries, experiencing new cultures. We shop, we laugh, we argue, and we comfort each other. We are two women bound by a shared secret, living a life that defies convention. Do I regret the choices I made? That's a question I grapple with constantly. I came to this life. As I stand here, looking at my reflection, I see a woman who is stronger, more resilient, and more aware of herself than the man I once was. I traded my masculinity for survival, and in doing so, I found a different kind of happiness, a happiness rooted in self-discovery and acceptance. Perhaps that is the most unexpected twist of all. I get more happiness, and when both of us are intimate, meet together, I get the pleasure of meeting another as a woman. We both roam around together. Both of us are living life like friends. She is also very happy with me today, and I also find my happiness in his happiness as a woman.